Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Let me write first, right? These note, I'll prepare it later. What is those? Today I'll be covering right, basically rules, right? What is the rules? Then we'll have type of rules. Coming to type of code, right, we'll have basically we are doing three type of code. Let me write down the name first here. Empathize role. I'll come to that. What is the role and why it is really used? Those things I'll come up later. And we have our application role. And we have here machine. Let me make it pen. I'm going to relate. When you talk about basically rule, right, what is coming into picture? Just thinking about right. What is exactly I'm going to get access? We're talking about roles, right? What role? Today we're talking about roles. Roles is nothing very simple as you may online. It's a collection of entitlements. Right. Collection of entitlement. If I have 5 entitlement, let's say, when we saw HR flow, right? We saw another is floor manager, right? We have, let's say, another entitlement that is for, service delivery. If we have 3 entitlement and we want to bundle of, say, entitlement, right? I can group it to get all the 3 entitlement and I can limit as a roles. Basically a roles. Let's have entitlement. The role is doing basically right. Why is the entitlement? It is why to rule. Why should I have to rule? Basically, we used to give access to rules, right? Roles is used to give access to user like in a multiple entitlement. What does it mean by, let's say if I have application A, D, right? We have entitlement or 4 entitlement. We had 4 entitlement. Like the entitlement. If you remember, like your floor manager, your HR manager, your service delivery manager, your floor HR, some of the entire room, and we had one more application. If you remember database in the class 1, there also we had 4 to 5 entitlement. We saw there, right? Let's assume we have another application. That is your service now. In service also, we have 5 applications. If user, let's say there is a user, XYZ. This user access for his A D1 entitlement, 2 entitlement and service of 3 entitlement. In this case, what you are going to your save in write in save in system. We have a AAS menu, right? In AAS, we are going there and we are going for request access for us, right? And we are submitting request 6AD, 1 entitlement. Then again, I am going for DB, submitting request is entitlement 2. Again, I am going to submit request for the 3 entitlement 3. Imagine in real time, right? What happened in? The employee required access to T plus entitlement of different applications. There can be application active directory and key if it required. 3 entitlement here, 4 entitlement here at right. Two entitlement here, 5 entitlement. Doesn't it mean that he has to go and submit each application request? That held right. Every time employee going requesting access for 1 allegation. It's a M-Kenjmi process and system also gets right. That is why we dumped concept of role. What I can do? I can take this entitlement and this entitlement. Of all the 3 applications can place it in a role. In the role I mentioned it. And now user need not to submit this in real application for this and for this and for this. Simply use this. And the request will be submitted for this and for this. What user can do? You can request for roles and he will get access to this 3 application and this entitlement. You got it, Shruti. Any area out here? This is we call write roles. I'm giving access to 1 entitlement here, 1 entitlement here and 1 entitlement here, right? We are picking 1 or 2 or 3 and from each and a couple of each application. This concept is called nothing rules. It's not simple. It is an enterprise role we are talking. What is enterprise role? Enterprise role can consist of entitlement of different application. I'm repeating again. Enterprise role can consist of different applications. This XYZ enterprise role can hold entire directory as database as well as ServiceNow as well as LDAP as well as Google. No one entitlement enterprise role. I can combine a club entitlement of different application. That is why it is called enterprise. That means throughout the interface, the enterprise role can have access. See your interface. This is there, right? We have 3 type role. We talk about first. If you remember, we talk about enterprise role. We saw now, right? It can consist entitlement of different application. Again, what is the next thing? We have application role. Can and I meant of one application. What does it mean? One application, this application for create, let's say I'm creating. The application wrote a BC write. This is the application role. You can refer to only any application if I want to create application for it. It is specifically ready and that AC application role will not have access to here. It is not enterprise. Enterprise rule means I can get access any application that I get. If it is your, I have to create specific application role. Let's say I have 4 role here, right? I can clump this for entitlement 1 role. I will call it as a AD role, this AD role. It will have access to this AD. This XYZ, if you need access to 4 of entitlement in AD, instead of submitting single place. One request for this, one request for this one request is simple. You can go and create a AD role. And if you submit the access for the redo, all this for entitlement will get access. And same thing. We can create a DB role also. DB role and one application. I'm just giving a name, any name. This DB role application will have access to application, what we are doing to the conclusion. Application rule contain entitlement of specific one application. The same way, we have to write emergency. Emergency, let's say, this role. It is basically given to people. It is basically given to people whenever there is an emergency requirement. Let's assume we have a company right. Let's say the project name is JRUX. This project JRUX have a critical application that is finance application. Finance application right. All your money related things are considered on this application. Let's say this application, its name is CyberBrainer. As this is a very tough critical application, people will not get access to by any chance. I mean, if let's say your username is Shruti. If there is an entitlement in the image, like approve invoice. Approve invoice. If Shruti got access to this approval entitlement, she will have access to this invoice. See if the company still have access. But in emergency, what will happen? I will give access to you for this invoice only for 30 minutes. After that, you cannot access this entire. That is called emergency. If you assume like this, the need to have to set volume. That you get some less. I need access to you in R. After you got rejected or automatically rejected because you accidentally. That is called emergency. Emergency will be like that whenever you request. Right? It will be only for short period of like 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. It is only for a short time. Even if they have a time limit, you can limit. Say you cannot request for 24 hours of application, for 38 or 40 hours, it will be only for 5 hours. I will limit it for that for 5 hours. You can request for this application or for this SAP invoice. That is called your emergency role. Is it clear? Any question here? Which role? Application role or emergency role? Or are you talking about roles, only roles? Complete everything. The purpose of this one, write in the real time, let's say. Basically, it is designed. You in the write this. Let's say today you join Xerox company. You are an employee now. You joined a purpose to work in the company, right? You got role, let's say manager. After getting the role of manager, there are certain need for that right in the Xerox real time. I believe they have more than 50 applications. The application? I can assume you have an Active Directory. You have LDAP, you have SAP application. You have your SAM application. You have your Google application. You have your Habitat. I'm talking with the real time. You have time set application. You have your Google application. You have your permit application. You have your again some kind of database or corporate AD you have. And you have some more application accessories now, ticketing system service now. These number of applications you have in the real time. What about if I say you joined a company like Xerox as a manager, you have to request for application or for access for this application. I will say AD again, it will have 50 plus entitlement. LDAP will have 40 plus entitlement. A SAP will have 30 plus entitlement. Right. Like that it will have. All this application can be contained more than 40 plus entitlement. But the real question is, the biggest question for you is which element I should get access or I should request. Right. It will be confusing for you, right? Picking up and one entire link will take your lot. And you may not be correct manually. 3. You thought this is correct for me. And here you, before you do 5, here you pick 6 and you use 7, right? And here you pick 8 and here you pick 9. Like this some entitlement. You selected your request for all. Let's say mistakenly choose one entitlement. It was not for you, right? And you didn't notice that. And that manager. Your manager, he rejected the request saying that you requested for an uncle, right? But again, you don't know which entitlement you have to make. It's difficult, right? What is your position here? Your position is manager. And let's say you are manager for a department. Let's say finance department. See the manager of a finance department. What I can do? I can simply create a role name finance. In this finance point, endpoint and role. This finance role. I am an admin person. And do I can simple go? I know the idea of finance role. And your approval role. It is required. I'll put it here in finance. Again, I'll pick whatever entitlement is that. I'll put it from SAP application. I'll put it in the ESM application. Whatever entitlement required, I'll place it here. And same thing I'll do for all the applications. I know which role I should place in finance and I can put it them all. Now, if I was with the way manager joined XYZ or XAX company, you had access for this entitlement. You know specific entitlement rather than going and picking one entitlement if you join as a finance, right? If you request for financial or the required entitlement, whatever it is, here you'll get access. Tell me, is it easy now or earlier? It was easy for you, right? And in the future, if I want back what access is in the role, I'll see. Maybe she's a person of finance department. Right. It will be too much for us to work and to check what role has access. Imagine in my project what has happened, right? We have like 30 plus roles and we used to give access based on the user role. Let's say you are a user, you are employee. You should get to employee role. An employee role will have 30 plus entitlement. There is another person who has a control. She should get access to contractor contractual entitlement and that can be 20 plus entitlement. Another person is there who is a vendor. He should have the vendor related access. Another person is there. You know who is handling the building access? She will have access to the entitlement. For each and every person, if they have to manually search and define access one by one pick, that is a headache task. I can define 4. One is for your employee role. I'll put all the employee related entitlement here. I can create a contractor role. And I can put it all the contractor related entitlement. I can simply create a vendor role. In the vendor role, I can create and put all the entitlement and same for you. You know this here also, the role is also right. Right for access also I can create a role. And in this role, I'll put all the building related entitlement. Now, whenever any new person is going, let's say he got access to it. Simply can go and submit for the vendor and all the entitlement related to the vendor. You'll get access. Right? It will be too much easier and we can segregate the role based on your role. That is why in the real time, right? 70% or 80% chances are there. Right? People will be requesting for roles not for same entity. If I place a request for a role, I joined as an employee. Let's say, like manager. Manager related role I request, and in that role it might contain 30% entitlement and go for approval of my manager. And once my manager approve, then again it will go for you. All the entire owner of the application for the approval. And once they approve, I'll have access. That is the purpose. We use rule to segregate the duty and ease of access. Rather than submitting single request for entitlement, I can request for multiple entitlement or different entitlement from different application. That is why those there. Now with this role, we have no need to create any technical rules. No. See, technical rule and rule both have different identity. How it works. Rule and technical rule. Thank you. Let's assume this will again, if this is your HR system, right? Or HMS you're talking about, and all your users are residing here. Let's say you join this direction. Same coming with considering Xerox company was joined. What will happen? HR person sitting in the company, they will onboard you to their HM system. Your user got created here. When our import user job will run right, your user will get onboarded to access now. Are you saving right? You are saving it right. Through which medium it is getting imported. your user import. User imported is using through. It is getting onboarded to your assignment. In the user import, what happened? It should take the role of true. And I have mentioned something like system using general system username for you and everything I mentioned. The moment it is being onboarded to your saving rate. Shruti, she joined as a manager your HR system. Then they mentioned that you only just major user right. In the target, again what we have our AD as a target application. We have our database and we have our service now. What will happen, right? Because you should get access to this all application, right? When the user is getting onboarded to save and write first, the picture will come right. It will be a technical rule. In the technical rule, I will say creative Shruti write. There will be a field name designation. If Shruti designation equal to manager right, she should get access to a specific entitlement of AD, like say manager entitlement. And in the DB there is other roles you should get. That is your floor manager. And in the service, now they have another entitlement like stable building access entitlement. She should get access to all these three applications of one entitlement. In the technical rule, I will mention right if Shruti designation equal to manager. Rather than submitting request for or create account on an AD and add access to a manager role, and create account on DB and add access to this flow manager role. And in the service, now and choosing this interval instead of doing all this drama simple. I can mention give access to enterprise role equal to manager to Shruti. I'll mention in the technical rule. In the Saviynt itself, I'll mention if Shruti designation equal to manager, assign enterprise role equal to manager role. What is the backend in the manager role? The role will have access to this entitlement and to this entitlement and to this entitlement. Now what happened? You get all the access to the three entitlement. And it will be for you right. Shruti is a part of this role in manager role. What is the coming to picture for technical rule is coming into picture in the technical role I'm mentioning. Shruti should get access to this application. If I go inside the video, we created technical role in the technical role. In the technical role, let remember right. In the technical role, what we are going to do? I was mentioning the condition. If you let it equal to CTC, he has to get access to database training CF account. I'm mentioning database training. CHR, R, I was giving access. I can add a simple another condition here. I can mention entries role. And I have to select what entry role I have to give to Shruti. That because if I say here again, I'm giving access to Active Directory to Shruti or Active Directory demo. Active Directory demo application is just to Shruta. And again, I will be mentioning here right. I want to give access. What is the group name there? Let's say CTC equal to terminal or not. I want to give access. Again, I will give access to write. Again, see and equal to this group individually here. Rather than doing that, what can do? I have some entries role. I'll give access to enterprise role. That is an enterprise role. What we can do, we can create an enterprise role. Let me go ahead. First refresh. In the admin, click the three dot. Just expand the identity repository. Click on the roles. I can create a role. Let's fill in the create role. Here in the create role, I can mention I'll give access to it. Employee role. I'm giving a name. Copy this gives them description. Any valid and the display most value. As the role here role is right. If you scroll down little, there is a role type. I can see the role is like a and. Then click on create. This employee role is great, right? What I told, an enterprise role can assist of entitlement of this application. Simple to enter it. Now in the end, click on add entitlement. Add entitlement. What entitlement we had, right? If I just go to add entitlement and write, let me search for first equity system. I'll give the security system as a that meant that I was turning safe right. This is security system and point is database. And if you search, it be all. And then they read it to the person. I'll pick people. Let's say I'm a master as a part of this. And if I'm very. Why it is again coming? Click on save. Click on save. This is your unit code. Go to your enter write entitlement. The enterprise role is a part of write. This enterprise role is entire. Once people is that one is. Same way again, I can go and add. I meant we have. Let's go to add a bunch. Just filter it out. Or if not the exact. You can search it from here. If I give scene equal, is it there? Scene equal to floor manager, we have right. And we have scene equal to floor edge. Again do your entire. Now you see this enterprise role consists of 4 entitlement. 2 entitlement are from a database training and another of your total employee. It is enterprise role. M is already there or is present. I can do one thing. I can go to my technical. Instead of, let me remove all the access from for the user. Simple I mentioned here. If is a, it will do C. I will have access to the enterprise role. Enterprise. And what is the end? Enterprise role name. Employee role. And assign. And I'll stand. Now what will happen on any? She will be part of your employee role. I'm sending users. It is equal to CTC. Then as I role, employee role. What this employee role is, I go to the 3. I didn't go to roles. Search for your role. What you get? Employee role. Retirement. Now your job is raising. Easy, right? Rather than asking employee for a role, they don't, will be all this request. If I simple mention, she will get or he will access for all this work in the real time is handled, right? Or technique is created to give enterprise role actually, not the single entitlement. 70% chance will be there. In the real people will be requesting for your. That is why then requesting for single entitlement. Simple, right? The user can either request this, enter the role. This entitlement can part or, right? We saw the technical. And I can also go and submit request this role actually. I click on the errors. Request access for other. Go to error. If you search it, create, click on this menu and choose any of the user and go next. We see a number of roles are present, right? I have to choose my employee role that I created. This side. If I go add and try to request this is an enterprise role. Select. And it has an end actually. Why this end it is? Because there. Well configured. I need to go to low. I'll remove that started ended because we discussed start date and ended required for your emergency row. Not for enter and enterprise, right? You will have an end time emergency row. I can give access on emergency basis. Here we discuss this emergency role. The emergency role. I can give access to the MP based on certain period like 30-minute or 2-hour or 4-hour based on enterprise role. We don't require unlimited access for you. If I go to rule, in this word, you see it is mentioned. Required field ended. Simply, I'll dream this and then. Now, there is no time limit for you. If you go. Because let's choose any of the. Click on next. And click on checkout. Now see, this is not mandate because this enterprise I should have. If I write it. Some comment I write. Or I'll say because this, is approving the role. Access to the. Click on Submit. You see, the request is submitted, right? Copy the request number. Copy the number. Go to your request history. Type the request number here. Search it. You saw the request ID submitted, right? Open this request. You see, this is a role, employee role, role name. Row type is A, and the approval type it is. There is no workflow. I delete. For an enterprise role, you can also attach a workflow. If you scroll down, it's simple. You requested for role. What does the request type? It is enterprise role. Submitted. Admit submitted on behalf of the user. You go to task. How many? What is the identity you can see? 2, 3. Can you tell me? We submitted request for a role. Heavy head. Right. That me. If I try to access the employee role, 4 text, 3 for me, but why it's can tell. Can you tell me why it created 6 stars for me? Any? Analyze the right. If you go to school again, right? We are requesting the parole and this role can for entitlement, right? Entitlement, people are flow manager from your database application. If you try to request for this for entitlement, first account should be there. If I don't have any account in activity, I cannot request this. I don't have any account. My data streaming. I cannot request for this entitlement. That is why this new. Your activity, right? You want for your data. Once this. Knife. This is a parent task. And 9.5. It's a parent task. Got process. Only you. Add access. Process. See for this access task. 956. My parent's 955. For the also my parent is 95 basically. This to add access parent is the new. Once new account got processed, then access will get processed. You saw how it is easy. To handle the request through the enterprise role, I can simply go ahead and submit a request for your enterprise role. Right. Let's say some enterprise role. And I can add this to all. Is it clear now? Or any doubt here? In interface role part, you can go to job control panel. Process this stuff, you know, right? It go to your admin, right? Go to job control panel, right? You can try to process to the BUSA. I can add the, but I have to mention the application, right? Which application I need to process it. I mentioned data training CF, and in I as just submit it. Now and let's see. 8. I can job is processing. Let's see what happened. The job is processed. One thing. Can you tell me? I forgot. For which user I submit a request. Then what to do now? What should I do? Completely because I came to a new, that is, I don't have. It's not a check. What was my? How can I do that? Simply go to your, click this 3 dot. Right? Go right in the. You have this mission data. What is it? Sorted the data. It would be open the user. Open the user. Now we requested for an enterprise role. Right? We're looking here. Click on the role. This is part of. What is the employee role? Simply if you click. I'm pressing Ctrl and click on the enterprise. Now it on this tab for me, right? I take me open interface. There's a for this user. Right. She has access to or he has access to employee role. If I go, you see. You know, active demo application. I open this application, KC part. For this today, this is your account. If I go to associate entitlement, you see this to entitlement is with me as a part of you. No, you and this is how you are going to submit the request for an enterprise role. We saw through the and how to request and remember if I go to the role again, right? I mean go to an admin again. Click the 3 dot. Open the room. Click on the what is the name? Employee role. Search for it. If you scroll down, you see it is mentioned. Requestable equal to true. That means either we can make a rule, either it is to be requestable or we can mention it like no bus. This is a critical role. I do not want people to submit access for the one. It should be caused by birthright. That I can make the false. And I did. Notice it not. If I go again to S and the home is. Click on this enterprise role again. I can user for which you want to give the access. Go to next. Now you won't see our role here. See it's not there. You cannot record. I want this employee role should be part of my birthright. In that case, what will happen? I have to go to my technical. A technical or it is to your business requirements. A low is technical rule. and I'll say user equal to accept. Then she should access to enter his role employee. Now answer all to him or her. Now let's do that as right. I will be onboarding a new user. Is database open? If I go to my database, if remember I have to go to JTVC, right? In JTVC application, our user import will import user. It was there. I believe this is a variable, right? If I go to input use, I'll be adding in user set. The news, I think, give me ideas. 78625. And I'll give a name here. Let's see. I'm giving some name here mentioning status is active. I am not passing here. I'm simply mentioned is CTC. That's it. Apply. And apply. And finish. This user is there. Now I'll onboard this user to my Avian. Now I can do. I'll go to my savings. I'll running the board of now. Go to your job. Go to your database because that we create a user in our website. User import complete from database, click here. Right? Go to action. Click on start. What is the connection or connection was? Great, I was training seal. And simply click on submit. The top is the star. If I go to admin, go to Trio identity. Click on users. I submitted for KC. Right. Let me set with the KC. If the user today on case you were right. The user, we gave the username. Right. Not this one. We created the case you are looking. This is the user ID 6. 6. This is the user it created. Now I have mentioned this user should be a part of birthright. I have a technique rule at us for this one. If I open this user, go to your update history. What you saw? You saw all the things came right. I think our W8 is not. Trigger or schedule. That's why it didn't trigger automatically the past. How we can see. I go to copy this username. Go to your address menu. Right. Click the 3 dot. Go to now to pending tasks. If I give the username here, you can search. For this user, these many tasks are created. These minute tasks are created. Click on this. Click on the view. If you scroll down, you see what they have done. Count creation task as part of a row, request empty role from 0 to winning. Always remember to see in pending task how it has came. Is it somebody requested or is it birthright or it is through a role? How it has generated. To check that simply and click the action and click on the view and just scroll down. You see all the things will be there. This is for data, training, C and application. You can see it. And if you scroll down, it will give you It is a Heart Enterprise role that reinterpret role. Name is M. It is simply saying I don't create a proper role request, that is employee role, as a 0-day reasoning. That means a birthright if you simply copy the employee role. And you can go and open the employee. You will come to know what is the role. Simply go to employee role. Open the employee role. Now you see this is the end of page role. See how the target. If I'll process this user, let's see what will happen. This was the user for KC. I'll write. Copy the username again. Go ahead. I just want to see the error. Go to user. Open the user now. The user. It will use it. There is a role right now. What will happen? I will process this user task. Copy the user. A simple name. This is the user. Go to Job Control Panel now. Job Control Panel. I process the task. Simply go to Utility. Go to the Terrace-Riser. Now click on Action. Click on Start. Again the same. Now I'll process the application of activated mode and data is running. See. In the Show More option, choose New Account as well as Hard Access and Submit. Let the job finish. Let process the site. Once the job is processed and all the tasks are provisioned to the user. You see user role, it will be as an employee role. The user is a part of employee, you can see. Let the job finish. Let the job finish. It is finished now. If I go to pending task, the user is a bit, just refresh it. You see all the data processed right now. We go to show user in the room. Or you can refresh the space. Let's go to role. And you see it is part of employee role. What account user? Data streaming and active demo. If I open this, click on this one. Right. And if you go to associate, he's on this. And if same viewer, the account actually, go to associate. And the element. This is how we deal with your enterprise role. Any question here? On the enterprise role. I took it as a no. Now let me create an application role as it right. We talk about enterprise role. Now let's talk about application role. Go to again. Click on action. Create role. I'll give the name as you know. App. The name is app under the role. Giving some display name. In here, I'll be choosing. I will do what the role type I'm choosing this time. Click on create. The role is created. I should assign a role or entanglement to it. To end, it will mean now. Right. I don't end it. If click on the add entitlement, let me go to our ones. Search it. Security system. This will be for I will be mentioned. It is I need. It is for only database training. I'll mention training. It is here. Search it. It said search it. It's not giving me entanglement. I directly said here, this is your application. Right. The role type application, requestable to. I have to select the endpoint as well. Sorry, my bad given. It was for us. Data is training. See if right. This one. And updating. Now again, go to entanglement. Click on add entitlement. You saw all the entitlement came right. We'll see for you. I'll mention and flow manager to be part of this application. Now, this is your approval. And this is your like. Appreciate. What are you doing? Now this application rule, right? Remember, if I show you enterprise rule can be a part of your technique or birthright right. We saw that. Now if good, go to feed, open that. Go to policy. Go to your technique. Let's add this rule. We are sending. Alright. This are action. Few. Give me. Do you ever see any application? Because application rule. It is specific to your application. You cannot keep the application. Right. Remember, you cannot give a application.